Now we're going to pick up the second half of that, and I'm going to read the older brother portion. Excuse me. It says, "Now his older son was in the field. He was angry and refused to go in. He answered his father, 'Look, these many years I've served you, and I never disobeyed you or your commands. Yet you never gave me a young goat. But this son of yours came, who has devoured your property with prostitutes. You killed a fattened calf for him, always with me. And all that is mine is yours.'" And this is Luke 15:25 through 32. So as we hold this passage up like a mirror, I'm going to put that mirror in front of me. And I'm going to talk about what God has shown me through this study as I'm going through this caregiving journey with my wife and my daughter. And this reflects the past 3.5 years, right? And as the years go further and her health is stable, but not changing, your mind gets to wandering just a little bit because I'm still human, right? So it gets to wondering and all that stuff. So we're going to kind of take this verse by verse, and I'm going to hold it up like a mirror and just listen to what I'm dealing with in my thoughts, and just see if you have some of these same thoughts, these same ways. All right. The first one would be, these many years I've served you. Right there, the older brother, what he's doing is he leads with his record. He says, look at my years, look at my consistency, look at my service. And he believes that his long obedience basically should, make his father move in his behalf. So as I put that up for me, this is what it looks like. I'm saying, like, Lord, I've served you these many years, and I'm going all the way back to, when I served at Word of Truth as the set up and breakdown lead person. And I hardly ever missed any days, any Sundays. I can probably count about maybe 5. I didn't even miss the Sunday after my mom passed away, just because I was just dedicated to God and to service. And anyway, I got sidetracked. And I've stayed with you. I stayed caring for my wife. I'm raising my daughter. I'm working at the same time. I'm sacrificing. I'm obeying. I'm not out in the streets wilding. Right? And that's what I'm saying. And then underneath, I'm saying this: my years in the field should count for something. I should have something to keep. I feel like I'm doing the best I can, and I'm doing good. Why do I have to keep taking this hit? The second one is, I never disobeyed your commands. The teaching from this is, the older brother kind of presented himself as the faithful one. He's the good son. He kept the rules. He identified as the obedient one. And he expects that he should be treated, basically. So that parallel for me is, Lord, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to walk in obedience. I'm trying to keep my heart right, my mind right. I'm trying to keep my hands clean. I'm serving my family when I could just leave. And I'm trying to trust you. But underneath, what I'm really saying is, because I've tried to walk right, I shouldn't be going through this level of pain with my wife and this consistent bad news. And I hope right now you can see the parallels as the brother. The next statement, here's the teaching behind that. It says, the word yet. He says, basically, in my opinion, he's saying, my performance equals your obligation. Basically, I've done my part. Now, God, I need you to do your part, and that's to bless me. And here's my parallel to that. It says, yet you never gave me a clean bill of health for my wife. You didn't give me relief from going to consistent appointments and hearing bad news and taking Abigail to school, picking her up from school, cooking and cleaning, doing all the housework, washing clothes, folding clothes, hanging clothes, the space for rest, intimacy with my wife, and feeling seen. And underneath, I'm saying this, after all this obedience, we should be out of this valley by now. You owe us some kind of breakthrough. I feel like you owe us. The fourth statement, so I might celebrate with my friends. And the teaching from this is, he has a reasonable, expectation. He has just being alive. He wants to have joy and celebrate with his community and friends. The problem's not with the desire itself, but he believes that his father withholds or withholded something that he's earned. He think he's earned that goat, from what he's done. My parallel to this is, Lord, I just want a season to breathe, to enjoy my wife and my daughter without hospital visits, to have the energy to, continue to do the podcast that you've allowed me to begin using my life and the word, and just to enjoy some fruits of all of that labor of sowing. And underneath my breath, I'm saying, you keep letting everyone else have their party while I'm stuck working in the field. Right? I think I've mentioned in previous podcasts where, I look at Facebook and all those social media platforms, right? And you see people walking, holding hands, everyone smiling, taking pictures with their family. The man standing there looking proud, and the wife is gleaming and holding on to her husband, and the kids are leaned in on both of them. We don't have that right now. And, that's what I'm seeing underneath. That's what I'm saying. The next statement, it says, but when this son of yours came, the teaching from this is, this son of yours. It's not, that's it's funny. I'm laughing, but he's like, man, this son of yours that's his brother, right? But he compares his sacrifices to his younger brother's sin, and sees grace that's given to someone else as an insult to him. You're giving grace to this person who went out and he just sins all the time, but